Good evening, good afternoon, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are in the world. I'm Angel Rivera. This is Angel in the afternoon, alongside Alex Knight, and Miss Witchy Perfect will be here in a few moments. But since she's not here yet, let's just do
Suck
this.
a dick.
There you go. So, hope everybody's had a great week. Hope everybody is, ready to go for tonight because, whoops, why is this doing that? Sorry. I don't know. Hold on. There we go. So, excuse me, and that had a little bit of an issue there, but we're good. So I hope everybody's had a great weekend. Ah, here we go.
Here I am.
Hey,
Well, my ex actually came for my son, so that's why it was a little late. So,
that's fine.
whew.
Yeah, I figured you'd be here in a few minutes, but so we got a lot to talk about this week. Let's see. We got hold on. I having a bit of an issue here, but I can solve it real quick. How's everybody doing though? So before I can solve this thing.
Good. I'm finally getting. If you want to check it out, my tarot channel. It's
Right.
Mrs. Witchy Perfect's tarot. I'm doing the signs, so I did 6 signs today, probably 6 signs tomorrow, or through the weekend. I've gotten up to Virgo, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, yada yada. So check out your reading today.
You didn't see the poster stuff?
Shut up, bad cookies.
Are you
Hi,
so
are
CBC.
you using a different stream site today, Angel, or it looks different?
yeah, there's a different layout. That's why. Yeah, I didn't do
Oh.
anything
I was
different.
gonna
It's
say he
just
uses Restream. I can't even say it.
yeah, it's a different layout. That's why I'm kind of confused. But I'm good. I got it. They change the layout occasionally for restream. It's really annoying. And when they do it, it's like, oh no, and I gotta learn
You
it all
can't
over
see
again.
the
And I'm not.
the
I mean, because
profile.
they kind of did that for StreamYard as well. I was just like, one day, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it did it again. It just changed, and I guess I didn't no clue about it. So, yeah. So we got a lot to talk about. We got Trump authorizes lethal CIA ops in Venezuela. So here we go. They're getting ready for an invasion, and we're gonna see CIA operations murdering people there. So, and then we also got the Supreme Court to give Trump unchecked power. That's a whole other thing. There's a bunch of Supreme
Yeah,
Court
because what could
decisions coming up
possibly go wrong for those in the back?
that'll that'll very likely give Trump basically unchecked power. So nobody can check his power if Supreme Court rules the way I think they're going to rule, the way everybody thinks they're going to rule. So yeah, and
We
so much
must get.
more.
We must be getting ready to suck dick. I love Max. I didn't say
Uh huh.
anything. I didn't
So
say anything.
yep. So I figured we'll get started here because no, actually no, I got some few videos to play first, and then we'll get to those stories. Um, so we got we'll
Oh yeah,
start
and
with
also Trump's on Time Magazine.
Ugh.
I didn't see that.
Talk
Oh
about
no.
sucking dick.
So anyways,
Oh yeah.
this is Mitch McConnell. He gets asked a question. I don't remember about what, but
And
he
he
once
falls
again falls.
down. He falls down. Like
He once
my
again falls
coworker
down.
showed me this at work. He was like, "Here, you guys see this." I'm like, "What? This is elder abuse."
Yep. This is like the fifth or sixth time he's fallen on camera this year. So I came across this. So we'll start funny and then we'll get more serious as we go. So
Excuse me, Senator.
look at
My
that. Look
name
at
is
that. That
Stella.
guy's
I
just
like to
grabbing
And he
him.
ask.
lets go. He lets go, and then the
Gone.
guy's like, "Wait a second.
There he is.
People off the streets and kidnapping them.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Tragic Bronson.
stupid."
As Shaquille O'Neal would say, tragic Bronson.
Why did he let go? Like he's like,
Alright.
"Ew."
He's like, hey, yeah, what, you're recording? Okay, great. You didn't see that, right? You didn't see me just fall on my ass? Okay. There's more.
I mean, this is bad.
Yeah, this is elder abuse. I mean, he needs to retire and go into a
Yeah.
senior citizen's home.
Yeah, unfortunately,
And
I
now
have
he's walking just fine, like on his own now. Like
Uh-huh.
honestly, that could have been fake. That could have been for the cameras.
Unfortunately, uh,
What?
unfortunately, I've had to help my dad when we walk outside. So he's had trouble walking on his own.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like Mitch McConnell, and like he isn't like a senator, or he isn't
No.
a rich person or a rich pedophile. He's not like that.
He's
So
gonna. Let's
yeah.
watch him fall again. It looks real to me.
Kidnapping
He just
them?
grabs him and goes down.
I believe
For some reason,
Mario may have laid a banana peel there.
yeah. Somehow he let him go, and then he just goes down. Like like he realized he's being recorded, so he's trying to look strong for the camera, but he fell flat on his face again, so it didn't go well.
At least he didn't. My coworker was like, "Well, at least he didn't freeze up." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Which is better, falling or freezing?"
Or maybe he was just joking. He's like, well, at least he didn't do that. That's
Yeah. So he
It doesn't
falls.
help.
It reminds me of when Biden fell when he was done speaking, fell on the stage. Or remember that one?
Yeah.
Talk about AIPAC.
Today,
I
AIPAC.
don't know why this plays automatically. But anyways, I'm gonna set this up. This is an ad that APAC put out earlier in the week. Like
Ew,
in
are
a
you
desperate
serious?
attempt.
Is it APAC or IPAC? I don't even know.
I know it is
okay
APAC,
there,
but
Mr. Pacman.
yeah, but yeah, this is an ad that APAC put out, desperately trying to say, "Oh no, we don't work for Israel. We work for the American people. We help the American
Bullshit.
people."
Bullshit.
So this is because they're being called out a lot lately by people. So it's like, no, we're not working for another state. No, we never.
Meanwhile, here's
AIPAC.
Today, AIPAC.
Yeah.
On Capitol Hill, APAC.
AIPAC.
You may have heard our name, but how much do you really know about AIPAC?
I know enough.
AIPAC is an American organization that works to strengthen
an American organization, not Israeli.
Yeah, to strengthen the
US-Israel
Israel relationship.
Yeah.
So you suck Israel's dick, basically. It's okay.
Yeah,
we know.
they take money.
relationship. This partnership
Look at
advances
this.
America's
Look at-
interests.
It's so AI.
horrible.
It's AI. Look at it. I want to show these guys this. Look at how
Why
horrible
are they
AI
so
this is.
obsessed with AI? I don't get it.
I've seen AI ads that are really good. This is really terrible.
You
Look
couldn't
at
show
this.
footage of actual politicians together. You couldn't find footage of that.
No. Well, that would look bad because every politician sucks up the APAC.
Yes.
Well,
So,
what's
sucks
the
the dick of
difference?
Israel.
What's
Yeah,
the
but it looks like that free AI software you can make videos with. That's what it looks like. That cheap free software. They didn't even bother paying for it.
and
That's what this
democratic
looks like.
values,
And it keeps going.
and
It
helps
gets worse.
keep Israel safe.
Keep Israel
Our 5
safe.
million
What about
members and
American
more
America?
AI.
citizens, Democrats and Republicans from every part of the country who urge our elected leaders
AI,
to enact
more AI
pro-Israel policies. This includes expanding America's defense partnership
So
with Israel,
basically, you suck the dick of
supporting
Israel.
life-saving security assistance,
Life-saving
Bullshit.
security assistance.
All you're doing
That's
is
basically-
helping a genocide against Gaza. Oh,
They're
this
trying
is
to
such
reframe.
bullshit.
They're trying to reframe this as defense. If we're
their
defending
defense.
ourselves.
My ass cheeks.
We're defending ourselves from the big bad Arabs. You see all these Arabs trying to kill us.
These Arabs that don't have dick.
Yeah. These terrible the raghead terrorists are trying to kill us. Squink. So that's why
Wink.
it's security. Defense.
confronting Iran and its terror proxies,
Iran.
and promoting peace and normalization. Being pro-Israel is good policy,
No,
and
it isn't.
AIPAC members make sure it's good politics,
No,
too.
it isn't.
It's not good politics anymore. It used to be, but not anymore. After
Israel.
everything Israel's done.
We raise money to help elect pro-Israel candidates for Congress from both parties. And we take the political fight to our opponents.
You admitted it. You admitted that everybody's
it's all
bought off
blatant.
by AIPAC. So you literally suck the dick of Israel. You just said
They
it.
just literally
You just
put out
admitted
an
it.
ad what we've been
It's
saying all
just-
this time.
Yeah,
And
they're
and
admitting it, but
Yeah, now they're freaking admitting it.
yep.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what? Who? What was that sound? What was
What
that
again?
sound?
Oh, Hogan doesn't work
Oh.
for me, brother. Yeah.
Okay.
helping defeat anti-Israel candidates running for the House or Senate. AIPAC is leading the fight in Washington to secure the future of the U.S.-Israel relationship.
I don't
actions
give a fuck
of
about
pro-Israel
Israel. Fuck
Americans
Israel.
today will help determine the
Yeah, not
future.
fucking Israel.
Remember, Trump is America first, even though there's
No, this
everything
is
that is
Israel.
not
This is
America
literally
first.
they are literally saying the quiet parts out loud. They are Israel first. They always been Israel first, and you just made it worse. You literally just admitted that we said literally what we've been saying is that it is Israel first and America second. Of course, poor people completely last.
Yep, it's this again. Like,
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
This bond and the fate of both countries.
APAC with the
I give it a
angelic
0
music
out of
there,
10.
and with the music there, it's like no. I mean, we're not important, guys. We're not important.
Important.
We're just a
yeah.
pack. We're just a pack.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we're just
this
sucking Israel's dick. I mean, I don't see what the problem is, y'all.
How many
I
times
coulda-
have you said that now?
yeah. I could have picked out a number of clips from the New York City mayoral debate from I think last night, but this one stuck out to me. This is don't mess with the Zohan Mamdani wants to legalize prostitution in New York. So let's watch this.
What's the harm in that?
And to follow the advice of district attorneys that we have here in New York City, the current Manhattan DA, the former Manhattan DA, the current Brooklyn DA, the former Manhattan DA having said that prosecuting women for prostitution is something that actually leads to less safety. And what we need to do is provide an economy
Mr.
of
Mamdani,
opportunity.
just a quick clarification. So no legalization, how about decriminalization?
I do not think that we should be prosecuting women who are struggling, who are currently being thrown in jail, and then being offered job opportunities. I think we should be actually providing those kinds of opportunities at the first point of interaction.
Yeah,
So
because it helps against what? SA.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It
There you go.
literally, if you legalize prostitution, there would be a lot less, R words in the world. And who does it hurt? If a guy wants to pay for sex, who does that hurt?
The other candidate who's there besides and Cuomo, I forget his name, but he's the best of the three. I've actually followed him on X for.
And we all know that the rich people, they do pay for prostitutes. Let's be real here, guys. Because the rich can get away with it because they can just bribe everybody. Oh, well, you got caught with a prostitute. What you want to look for is they're getting caught with underage children. Okay? Because again, rich people are pedophiles.
But you know which candidate I'm referring to, right? The other candidate that was there with Mamdani and Cuomo.
Yeah, he's some kind
of. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I know you're talking about.
The other candidate, I forget his name. I think his last name is Silva. I don't remember his last name, but
Siwa. I think it's Siwa. I'm pretty sure.
Huh?
Siwa, something. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a better one.
No one has really proved to me how that hurt. Like, who is the victim in this crime of prostitution? Who is the victim?
Oh, and by the way, speaking of Mamdani, we probably should go over the Sappy Saps tweet over Mamdani saying he would hire Zionists in his organization.
Yeah, we could. I mean, his administration. Look, here's the thing. New York.
We have Zionists everywhere.
Yeah, no, but he's saying he would. He's saying he would hire them. So.
If you want any power in New York, you're gonna have to bend over for the Zionists one way or another. So, especially in New York City. So,
bend over and touch your toes. It's gonna be a long night.
So let me see. Let's start with this. Hold on. Where are we? I could have played many videos from that debate, but quite frankly, Mamdani's probably gonna win, and then he'll do exactly what he's told by a New York City political machine because it's too powerful. And there's no way.
You're like, oh my God, he turned on us. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, no shit. Because you can't fix it within, right?
Right.
Yep.
You either succumb to it or you leave.
Let's go.
I mean, at this point, I prefer MTG over Mamdani.
Ugh. MTG,
I'm just saying
you know me.
Of, at least on Israel and Palestine, she's much better than him on it.
Yeah, he pretends to be. She's that baby face that pretends to be. Yeah.
I'm
for now at least. I've not really discussed Haiti much, but I came across this and a lot more articles lately that it's a failed state,
Oh, you
basically.
mean Haiti, as you know, where they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Yeah, yeah, that Haiti. They're eating the dogs, eating the cats. They're rapists, they're criminals, whatever he said in the debate. I forget right now.
And
Uh,
he's a pedophile.
yeah. So Haiti is just as bad as Gaza when it comes down to hunger. So 6 million people in Haiti face acute hunger as gang violence spread. So basically, the capital, Port-au-Prince, is basically run by gangsters and criminals. I mean, the state has no power whatsoever. There is a president in theory, but he has very little authority, and it's more the gangsters and criminals that run the country right now. So I'm shocked the Trump administration isn't
That's because
trying to
they aren't
invade
they
Haiti.
bombing Haiti? We used to
Yeah,
do a headlock on hunger through the WWF, and now all of a sudden
yeah,
we're bombing Haiti.
yeah. The I think Biden administration bombed Haiti a few times. I don't know about Trump yet. He
Of
might have,
course.
and I might have missed it. So half of the population is projected to experience critical food shortages by mid 2026, says armed group block aid. Is that familiar, by the way? Armed groups blocking aid in another part of the world.
Yep.
Uh, Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, has been caught in the grips of gang violence. Look at this. There's a poor kid there, right there. I think
Jeez.
he's missing an arm too. Looks like he's
Oh,
missing.
Ugh.
No, he's not. No, he's not. His arm's back here.
oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he's missing an arm, but he's not. More than half of Haiti's population is experiencing critical levels of hunger as armed group tightens their grip across the Caribbean nation, and the ravaged economy continues its downward spiral. A report released Friday by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, found that some 5.7 million Haitians, of a population roughly 11 million, are facing severe food shortages. The crisis threatens to worsen as gang violence displaces families, destroys agricultural production, and prevents aid from reaching those desperately in need. The assessment shows that 1.9 million people are already at emergency hunger levels, marked by severe food gaps and dangerous rates of malnutrition. Another 3.8 million face crisis level food insecurity. The situation is expected to deteriorate further when nearly 6 million people are projected to face acute hunger by mid 2026 as Haiti enters its lean agricultural season. So, can't play that because it's fucking not Gaza, Al Jazeera, and they tend to copyright strike anything, use any of their videos. So. Haiti's government announced plans on Friday to establish a food and nutrition security office to coordinate the relief effort. Louis Gerald Giles Gilles, a member of the Transitional Presidential Council, said authorities would mobilize resources quickly to reach those most affected. Unfortunately, since Haiti is a failed state and there's a lot of corruption, most likely that food will stay within the little bit of the elite that are left in Haiti. That's my suspicion. Um, but the response faces enormous obstacles. Armed groups now control an estimated 90% of Port-au-Prince, the capital, and have expanded into agricultural regions in recent months. Violence has forced 1.3 million people from their homes, 24% increase since December of last year, with many sheltering in overcrowded temporary sites lacking basic services, which is where we see malaria and dysentery and a lot of these diseases because when people, use the bathroom, it stays there instead of, being flushed away. So farmers who remain on their land must negotiate with gangs for access and surrender portions of their harvest. Small businesses have shuttered, eliminating the income sources for countless families. Even when crops reach normal yields, produce cannot reach Port-au-Prince because gangs block the main roads. The economic devastations compound the crisis. Haiti has recorded 6 consecutive years of recession, with food prices jumped 33% in July compared to the previous year. The deepening emergency affects children with particular severity. A separate report this week found 680,000 children displaced by violence, nearly double previous figures, with more than 1,000 schools forced to close and hundreds of minors recruited by armed groups. So now they're
Not
using
to mention, they also
child
have,
soldiers.
yeah, and when these minors, I mean, again, they're going to use poor kids that are not missed going
hmm
to being sex trafficked.
Yeah, they're going to be child soldiers or sex trafficked. I mean,
Yep.
to make for the gangs to make more money. the international community authorized a new 5,550 member gang suppression force at the United Nations earlier this month, replacing a smaller mission that struggled with funding shortages. But the security situation remains volatile. On Thursday, heavy gunfire erupted when government officials attempted to meet at the National Palace in downtown Port-au-Prince, forcing a hasty evacuation from area long controlled by gangs. Martine Villeneuve, Haiti's director at Action Against Hunger, warned that while some improvements have been made, progress remains fragile without long-term investment to address the crisis's root causes. So that's the reason why I covered this, because it reminds me what's going on with Israel and Gaza. Difference is instead of a state, it's gangsters and gangs, that are gangs. I don't know why I said it like that, but gangsters and gangs, taking control of, Haiti. So yeah, and unfortunately, who suffers is children mostly, just like in Gaza. Let's see.
I mean, I'm a mom, and that's hard to hear. It really is hard to hear.
No problem, CBC. I mean, I try to avoid. Lately, I've been trying to avoid American politics because, as we talked about before, it's WWE. Like, for example, I could be covering the shutdown. It's reached its 15th day or whatever, but I know it's all
Hmm.
just WWE bullshit. So that's why I'm like, I mean, it's today the Democrats voted against reopening the government for the 10th time. They'll eventually vote for it when their donors tell them to. So when the stock market starts to suffer a little bit, that's when they'll vote to reopen the government. They'll come up with some deal where ultimately we get fucked. So that's
Yep.
what's gonna happen. So that's why I don't bother covering it. Golden Monarch says free Latin America from exploitation and crypto bros. That I 100% agree with. It's not just Haiti, it's Puerto Rico, it's Dominican Republic, it's most of Latin America, and especially the
That's
Caribbean.
right.
So that's why I've started American politics constantly flip flop.
You
I
are
like
correct,
different
sir.
thoughts from you. Yeah, I mean, I try to cover things that nobody else covers really, and nobody really noticed. Like this one, like I've not talked about Haiti much, but I came across it earlier this week. I got to cover this. This reminds me of Israel Gaza. We have to bring it up more because
And the fact
it's
that children can't be children in Haiti. Let's think
yeah,
about that for a second, break it down. So kids should be kids,
Break
they
it
should be
down.
going to school, they should be going to they should be being kids, right? They shouldn't be
hmm
child soldiers, they shouldn't be in sex trafficking. But they do that. And why is that? Because literally, I mean, these kids won't be missed, right? So
yeah,
we can think about the child soldiers in Africa, and what happened there. It's a tragedy. These kids should just be in school, just being kids, just like over
hmm
here in the United States. But what they do over there to poor kids, they will do over here to poor kids in the United States.
I
And if you
covered
think
that
you're
last
going to
week.
take my son and make him a child soldier, or you think you're
Mhm.
going to get him into sex slavery, think again. You better come through my dead body.
Yep.
I don't think you heard
So
me, but I was said break it down. Now I was joking, saying break it
Oh,
down.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't.
I said break
yeah,
it down.
well
You got that
let's
reference right.
Yes,
Yeah.
DX.
like we Yeah, that's why I try to cover stuff that nobody else has really covered, or cover it from a perspective that nobody else has. Like, I'm, I'm Puerto Rican, and I understand what the U.S. has done to the island since the early 1900s. Since they took it over from Spain, they pretty much forced Spain to give it to them after the Spanish-American War.
Hmm.
So, yep. All right. So I figured we haven't brought up ICE in a while, even though it's American politics. But ICE is basically invading the United States here, and now their most recent invasion is Chicago, where we know Kit Cabello is from Chicago, and I'm sure he's covered this a lot on his show because I've not really had a
Kit
chance to
Kat.
watch because I'm busy, but in the mornings, unfortunately, because I think I'm moving the next few weeks, so to a bigger space. But excited about
And
that.
people acting like that mayor of Chicago. I don't remember his name right now, but he's acting
Brandon
like him.
Johnson.
No, oh no, not the mayor. The other guy. The fat guy, the overweight guy. I don't remember his name.
I don't know.
He's
In
governor.
the
The
convention,
governor
like
of
we'll take it from
Illinois.
Pritzker.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about Prickster, right? Okay, yeah, okay, him.
People acting like, oh, he's gonna help, stand up to Trump.
He
No,
ain't doing nothing but sucking dick.
ain't doing
That's all
nothing.
he's
He's another
doing.
fat fuck billionaire.
Yeah, he's not ain't gonna do anything.
Another pedophile millionaire.
So, elected officials in Chicago look for tools to squeeze ICE out of public places. Here's the thing: you could try, but ICE ultimately has authority over the entire country because the federal law supersedes state law. So you can try. I mean, I'm not saying don't try, but it's probably going to fail. A city commissioner pledges to leave no stone unturned in city's fight to slow ICE abductions. Uh, as the Trump administration ratchets up its targeting of immigrant communities across the Chicagoland area, elected officials are looking for any tool they can find to protect their residents from militarized raids and roving bands of Border Patrol officers. We have Cook County Chief Judge Timothy Evans banned civil arrests at county courthouses across Chicago this week, preventing the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agents from arresting and attempting to deport people who show up to the public courtrooms for matters unrelated to immigration. Here's the thing: you can rule that all you want, but if ICE wants to arrest them, they can arrest them. So, I mean, thanks for trying, but ultimately, I don't think it's going to work. The order went into effect Tuesday and comes as federal judges and public officials in Illinois continue to push back against President Donald Trump's and Operation Midway Blitz. ICE's ongoing immigration crackdown in Chicago area after weeks of militarized chaos and violent arrests. Immigration violations are civil, not criminal offense. Despite Trump administration's repeated attempts to brand them that way, under a policy established shortly after Trump took office that opened formally protected areas such as schools and churches to immigration enforcement, ICE agents have arrived in Chicago area courthouses masked and unannounced to arrest people for showing up for regular hearings, often without arrest warrants or uniforms clearly identifying them as ICE agents. According to Cook County Commissioner, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing with all that. Look, I mean, it's bad, don't get me wrong, but ultimately, as far as I understand, as far as I read the statute, ICE does not need a warrant to arrest illegals, and they also do not need to identify themselves as ICE. I may not like that law, but that's the way it is. So when people say they have to identify themselves, not really. I mean, according to federal law, they really don't have to identify themselves. They could basically tell you to fuck off, and they can get away with it. So,
Okay,
and
but
also,
that also means that if we yell at them and call them pigs and call them assholes and whatever, they don't have a right to chase us down, even if we are legal citizens. But they don't care. They're just gonna fuck with more poor people. They don't care. They literally chased a white guy on a bike and missed. Because literally he was shouting obscenities at him. Well, I'm sorry if we hurt your poor little feelings. Go suck a dick. That's the way it is, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they also are allowed to wear masks, and they're allowed not to identify themselves, and also they're allowed not to identify themselves as ICE. So that's the federal law right now.
Well, and we don't have to identify ourselves technically.
Well, yeah, that's true too. So technically, they don't have to identify themselves. We don't either. So yeah, I'm just saying, when liberals say, well, they have to identify themselves, they have to do this, they have to have a warrant. It's like, not really. They don't have to have a warrant.
Yeah, ICE is a separate entity.
Yeah,
but I do disagree with the no-knock warrants. Not that ICE is doing it, but like I disagree with the police kicking in your door with no warrant.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's a local police thing, they need a warrant. They can't just start busting down doors. Vasquez said that local officials and advocates are particularly alarmed after ICE made an arrest in September outside of courthouse that hears cases filed by victims of domestic violence. I don't think ICE really cares.
Doesn't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I don't know why that's alarming. It's like, that shouldn't be surprising that they're doing that. Broadly across Cook County, we've seen ICE agents target our courthouses for arrests. And these are individuals who are being compelled to come to court. They are coming to hearings they are mandated to go to. Your government is asking you to come in for this, and then you're essentially being targeted by this federal agency for arrest. The ban on civil arrests at Cook County courts follows similar moves by judges and local officials in Oregon, New York, New Jersey, and beyond to limit ICE ability to arrest people in or around public courtrooms, including civil litigants and crime victims. Since Trump took office, ICE has targeted undocumented people who attempt to comply with everyday legal obligations, including immigration check-ins.
They don't care. They don't
So
care.
those seeking permanent legal residence in the United States. Federal
So
attention
those
data.
and
Go ahead.
it just said it there right there. It just said even people who are trying to do the right thing are literally being picked up by ICE. Again, this is
Yeah.
not just a one and done thing, guys. As soon as they're done with all this immigration, guess who they're coming after next? They're coming after fucking poor people, guys. I'm talking white people. I'm talking about everybody, Asian, black. It doesn't matter if you're Latino or not. You will be targeted.
Yeah,
And they don't have to identify themselves, so they literally can pick you up off the street. They can literally, if you're walking down the street one day, you're whiter than white, they can literally pick you up if you are homeless or whatever.
Yeah, because what was I going to say? Ultimately, I forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. Federal attention data and reports from Chicago across the country suggested ICE is targeting anyone who is unable to produce documentation, regardless of their criminal history or how long they lived in the United States.
Who walks down the street with their birth certificate?
Yeah, so basically they're asking, what about ID? Here's the thing: state ID or motor ID from the government is not good enough for ICE for a lot of people.
Right. So that brings me to the question: who walks around with their birth certificate? I certainly don't.
I don't either. Who does? Let's see. As a part of Operation Midway Blitz, ICE agents have enraged and terrified residents with a series of militarized and highly performative immigration sweeps and raids across Chicago in recent weeks. Despite a well-documented drops in homicide and shootings recently, Trump has described Chicago as a crime-ridden hellhole and is pushing to deploy the National Guard against the wishes of city leaders in Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Right. Then tell your goons to lay off the city. You want less crime? Because I guarantee, because I'm hearing all these stories and from like kid and other people, where they're walking kids, they're getting kids naked. God, you can't make this shit up. They are making kids get naked and walking them out of the building as if it's a thing of, it's like a sex thing. So ICE is full of pedophiles. Shocker.
A federal judge on October 9th issued temporary restraining order blocking Trump's National Guard deployment for 2 weeks. A federal appeals court on Thursday rejected the administration's appeal and upheld the ruling. Here's the thing: Trump has an ace in his back pocket, which is the Supreme Court. As soon as the Supreme Court sees this, they're going to overturn and allow Trump to basically use the National Guard in Chicago. So it's one way or another, Trump's going to use the National Guard. So they're just delaying the inevitable. More than a dozen lawyers, legal aid groups, and civil rights organizations petitioned Judge Evans for the ban on civil immigration arrests at county courthouses on October 1st. According to the petition, ICE agents entered at least 4 separate courthouses across Chicago's Cook County in September alone, including the Cook County Domestic Violence Courthouse. The reason we moved with such urgency is because we're also seeing how they're entering courthouses in New York City. They are masked and don't have identification visible. They come in and you don't know who they are, what they're there for, essentially. That's
bullshit.
On the judge
if you are going to a judge or a court, trust me, you know why you're going there. You're just making shit up now. You're literally just making shit up.
In a statement,
we found a bunch of people who are just loitering around the. Fuck you, go suck a dick.
In the Cook County Public Defender's Office, the order was urgently needed to ensure that the courthouses remain accessible to the public, regardless of immigration status. No longer will federal immigration agents be permitted to use our court system as a way to target people who are complying with court orders or supporting loved ones, the Public Defender's Office said. 2 state lawmakers recently introduced legislation that would codify the ban on civil arrests, including immigration arrests at courthouses across the entire state of Illinois. Experts say the state could also pass laws prohibiting staff at courthouses and state agencies from working directly with ICE. Well, they could do that, but ICE can still roll around and arrest people. I mean, this is all ultimately just virtue signaling because, like, oh, we passed these laws saying that you can't do this. Yeah, but ICE thinks differently. They think they can, and federal law is on their side, unfortunately. So you can do this all you want, but it's not going to ultimately matter much.
It's not really the police I'm worried about, Golden, because the police are just as bad as the ICE agents. They literally can. Police can literally kick in our door here and throw a bag of drugs and say, "Okay, now prove that that's not yours." Legally, a police officer can do that, and a lot of police officers don't even turn on their body cams. They can have that shit off. It's up to you to get that on tape. Thankfully, everyone in this house has a phone that we can literally just tape a cop throwing a bag of drugs saying, okay, prove it's not yours.
Yeah, because technically by law they're supposed to have it on at all times, but it doesn't mean they do. A lot of them don't, or the footage gets mysteriously corrupted or lost somehow. So even if they are on, if they did something wrong, Vasquez publicly called for the ban on civil arrest on October 3rd, the same day ICE agents manhandled and handcuffed a Chicago alderwoman, Jessie Fuentes, while she was attempting to visit a constituent who was targeted by ICE while receiving treatment inside a hospital. The ICE agent reportedly threatened Fuentes with arrest before releasing her outside the hospital. And the older woman is reportedly preparing to file a lawsuit in response. I've seen this video. So yeah, that did actually happen. She was demanding a warrant for the person, and of course ICE doesn't have to provide a warrant, but she was still asking for it, and ultimately was handcuffed and removed from the hospital. In a video of the incident, Fuentes can be seen asking plainclothes ICE agents for identification and a warrant. So yeah, I remember this video. Before one of them grabs her, spins her around, and puts her in handcuffs. Fuentes, who is Puerto Rican, represents a historically Latino area of Chicago, and told the Block Club Chicago on Tuesday that the same ICE agent had apparently been seen in other raids in Chicago, and allegedly that he was one of the agents caught on camera aggressively pushing a woman into a car in a Chicago neighborhood.
Sounds like a
Us
bunch.
documenting.
Honestly, this sounds like the German Gestapo. This is exactly what Ukrainian people did to force people into the Ukrainian army.
Mhm.
This is what the Gestapo did. They literally are disappearing people now. They are disappearing people.
Yeah.
This is what's happening, guys, right before your motherfucking eyes. Wake up and smell the coffee, guys, because I'm telling you, this is not going to get any better. They're going to do that not just to Latinos, to everybody.
Us documenting the atrocities, the constitutional violations, and violence that we are witnessing is what we need to do in this moment. Her office said she's one of two Cook County commissioners who authored the resolution asking for other county agencies to alert the commissioners when ICE agents are seen inside county buildings or on public property. Those alerts go to volunteer community groups that respond to ICE operations in residential neighborhoods. Vasquez said that the Cook County Board is also looking for ways to prevent third-party data brokers from mining county databases and contracts for personal information on residents and selling the data to ICE, which is another major issue. These private data broker companies, they're mining county information and county agencies and selling the information to ICE, so to make money off the illegals, or arresting illegals and finding them. The Trump administration allowing ICE unprecedented access to personal information on millions of Americans held by the federal government, including health and tax records.
Shocker. I mean, this is what they do. This is what they do. That's why you cannot trust the government. But they're not only just locking up illegals or who they think is illegal, they're locking up legal people. Because, like I said, who walks around with a fucking birth certificate in their pocket?
Yeah, and on top of that, guess what? Sometimes it takes a few weeks in order for you to get in front of a judge and then realize, oh shit, he's a citizen. Okay, let him go. It takes weeks sometimes.
Yeah, weeks sometimes.
Yep. For example, I had a member of my church get arrested by ICE a few months ago, and he spent like 6 weeks in custody. And actually, he was in custody in Texas. So they literally took him from New Jersey to Texas, so no one could find him. Yeah, how does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Nobody could find him.
Yeah, so they disappear so that no one ever hears from you and you can't contact anybody. Oh, by the way, you're legal. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we're sorry.
So they released him in Texas, and he had to find his own way back home.
Yeah, they're not going to pay your way. Helping poor people? Are you insane?
Yeah. So they had little funds he had to take a bus back here. So they couldn't even afford a plane ticket because he doesn't have the real ID or passport in order to fly back. So he needed to take a bus, of course. So he spent 3 days on a bus in order to drive back here. Or for example, she says that private contractor LexisNexis manages data used by county criminal courts, and the company also has a lucrative $22 million data surveillance contract with ICE.
LexisNexis, that kind of sounds like a really retarded wrestler or like a shampoo.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so far avoided scrutiny from regulators. Critics say this gives ICE a digital backdoor to surveil people in the criminal legal system.
Here comes
We
Lexus
need to do,
Nexus. You know,
yeah,
it's
we
like,
need to
what
do
the
anything
fuck?
we can to save many people as quickly as possible. Let's see what else here. Yeah, that's it. Well, that in Chicago, it's not just this. It's so much more, and it's just so worse. I mean, I'm kind of amazed at how.
I'll tell you
I
one
mean, we're
thing,
literally.
Angel.
Oh, go ahead.
If
Yeah, go ahead.
if they come knocking on your door, I think you better have your birth certificate ready. Because I'm worried about you. I'm
Yeah.
worried about you. I
Mhm.
know you're legal. You're like my best friend, so I'm worried about you. Please do that for me. For me.
Yeah, I mean, it's here in my apartment, so yeah, it's in a safe.
Good.
So yeah, it's one of those fire resistant safes because this, God forbid, there's a fire here, so it'll be my paperwork is good. But yeah, I mean,
That would be right
this
up
is
their alley.
how.
Oh, you had a fire here. Oh, your documents got burned. Oh, fuck you. You know?
All right, let's see. This is from Consortium News. This is the U.S. Supreme Court may grant Trump unbridled authority. So
Oh,
there's a
Jesus.
bunch of new
He
cases
already
here.
does. He already does. I don't know why they have to grant him
There's a
more.
bunch of There's a bunch of new cases the Supreme Court's going to hear in this session. That'll probably, those rulings will come in next summer most likely. That'll give Trump even more power than he already has. So, and not just Trump. People say Trump. No. It's the U.S.
Well,
presidency.
yeah, it's
So
a
any
U.S.
president after
presidency.
Trump
Yeah.
will have
So,
more just as much
I mean,
power.
after Trump, it's going to be what? Someone butt plug or, Vance. Well, that's what my dad
Mhm.
calls him. Butt
But
plug.
hey, he has a beard this time, guys.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
just
he
makes.
does grow a
I
beard
know.
for some
I
reason.
was. Who was I telling? I think it was telling my coworker this. I said I feel bad for his husband because he sucked a lot of dick to where he got to
Mhm.
where he was.
Yeah. So the Supreme Court's new term. Oops, I think there we go. The Supreme Court's new term, which began last week, presents the court with a monumental opportunity to hand Donald Trump unbridled executive authority and eviscerate the separations of powers enshrined in the Constitution. The court appears poised to rubber stamp many of Trump's worst abuses, from the imposition of massive tariffs to seizing control of federal agencies created by Congress. Although there are 39 cases in the court's regular docket, it has already handled nearly 30 cases with temporary unsigned orders and an emergency docket. In these cases, the High Court granted Trump requests to block orders from lower courts 20 times and has ruled against his administration only 3 times. The other cases led to mixed rulings.
So I have a question.
Although,
Why do we even have checks and balances? Why do we have a Supreme Court? Why not just let Trump have all the fucking power?
Yeah.
Because this is fucking useless. They are only going to literally do what rich people want to do, killing poor people. They don't care. They don't care.
this Supreme Court is about to hand the U.S. presidency pretty much ultimate power. It's not just Trump. People say Trump, but
Okay,
it's
well,
any
I mean the
future U.S.
presidency.
president.
So again,
And
why do we
I
have
know
an
what you mean.
executive?
Yeah.
Why do we have a legislative? Why do we have a judicial? Literally, why do we have any of this shit? Because literally, the executive branch will now have all the power to do whatever the fucking hell they want to. If they fart in the wind, well, oh well. Sucks to be you, poor people. Go suck a dick.
Even though the cases in which the High Court has already
Is this a
opined are not
record
final
for you
decisions.
saying that stuff now?
I think I'm up to 15.
Yeah,
I can't help it.
I
It
lost
just this
track.
pisses me off. Why do we have checks and balances? Obviously, we should just give all the power to the executive branch, and all will be well. Rich people will rule the world like they already do, and poor people are fucked. We'll own nothing, be happy, and eat sea bugs. This pisses me off. Why do we even have a constitution? Why don't we just stop playing this stupid game and be like, okay, guess what? The presidency is literally, he is now the emperor of the whole United States, and he says what he does. So if he farts, a bunch of poor people die. Who cares, right?
Yep.
Stop playing this fucking game. We all know it's a sham.
These are not final decisions, but they provide a preview of what we can expect during this term after a full briefing and oral arguments. It's hard to imagine a bigger test of presidential power than these potentially once-in-a-century separation of powers battles. Deepak Gupta, a lawyer, told the New York Times. Here are some of the cases the court will establish the limits of executive power. Tariffs. In early November, the court would consider legality of Trump's wide-ranging tariffs on goods brought from other countries with two cases: Trump v. BOS Selections and Learning Resources Inc. versus Trump. The U.S. Court of Appeals held that Trump does not have the authority to unilaterally impose sweeping tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977. Congress has the power to impose tariffs and taxes and raise revenues under the Constitution. For most of the U.S. history, tariffs provided the main source of financing for the federal government. In 1913, the 16th Amendment was enacted to authorize taxes on incomes, which is the income tax. That's how in 1913. The IEEPA gives the president authority to deal with any unusual or extraordinary threat to the U.S. national security, the economy, or foreign policy. The act doesn't mention tariffs, taxes, or duties, but says the president can regulate the importation of property in which any foreign country or national thereof has any interest. Trump maintains that regulate implicitly includes the imposition of tariffs. Trump's lawyers argued that he did not impose tariffs to raise revenue, but rather to rectify America's country-killing trade deficits.
No, he did
and
it
to
to
stem the
fuck
flood.
over poor people because poor people are the one who pay for the tariffs, but they don't tell you that. But here's the thing, I'm not really sure of all the lingo, but what I can say is that it literally sounds like, unless this has something to do with national security, which it has nothing to do with national security, really, maybe, unless the Supreme Court's going to give him, legality to do this anyway.
They're gonna
But
rubber stamp pretty much
yeah,
everything.
but it sounds like he really doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Not when it comes to the tariffs, at least, because usually, Trump's lawyers are using legal like mumbo jumbo and legalese
Yeah,
in
they're
order
the
to
flood of
justify it.
fentanyl and other legal
Yeah,
drugs or illegal drugs,
lethal
drugs. Yeah. So they're saying,
Mhm.
oh well, all these drugs are coming in here, so we gotta have national. Fuck you, fuck you. Guess what? You're the reason why these drugs are coming in. The fucking rich people.
In holding that Trump lacked the power to impose tariffs, the Court of Appeals used the major questions doctrine, which requires that Congress provide clear guidance before a federal agency can proceed on a major question of political or economic significance. Since Congress did not weigh in on the major questions doctrine, Trump legally cannot impose these tariffs. But the Supreme Court, I'm sure, will rubber stamp it anyways. The Supreme Court used the major questions doctrine to strike down vaccine, environmental, and student loan relief policies of the Biden administration. These cases raise the issues on whether Congress delegated its tariff power to the president in the IEEPA, which is the main issue that Trump is arguing, that Congress delegated its tariff power to the president in 1977. But I don't agree with that. The way I
I think
read
it's
it
the
and the
other
way
way
that,
around.
yeah,
Congress has the
yeah,
purse, is what I've always been told. Congress is the one with the
yeah.
purse. But even if they don't, even if we were in a fair world, let's pretend, where, they would say, well, technically, yeah, he doesn't have the right, Congress does, but he would just get people in Congress to suck his dick and do his bidding anyway. Again, the rich are going to help the rich. They are not going to help poor people.
Here's the thing: he doesn't need Congress. It's
Yeah, he
like the
doesn't need
part
them.
people need to understand. He has the Supreme Court in his back pocket, so he appointed most of the justices to that court anyway. So the majority of them were appointed by Trump in his first term.
Because we have to be
So we
saved
have,
by God and
yeah,
Jesus.
we have Amy Coney Barrett. I forget the other one. What's his
Clarence
face?
Thomas.
No, he wasn't appointed by Trump though. But yeah, he's one of the conservatives. I'm talking about the ones appointed by Trump.
Eric Garland? No, Eric
that was
something
Biden.
or other. What the hell was his name? I know who you're talking about. They tried to say that, he did essay on someone and no one could remember anything.
Right, him. Why am I don't know why I'm forgetting his name, but let's see. Yep, so him. But right now I'm trying to find here we go. Yeah, I got it. So we got Chief Justice, not John Roberts.
John Roberts
Amy
is a
Coney Barrett.
conservative, I think.
Yeah, he was appointed by W. We got Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
the
Brett
three.
Kavanaugh.
So
He's the
what-
one who.
That's the one who was accused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all fucking
Yeah.
sucking each other's dicks, and trying to make everybody feel better about themselves. While poor people. I mean, when are they going to help poor people? That's my question. When are they going to rule in favor of the poor? They're not. This is literally just so
No.
rich people can have more power, and rich people can make poor people either miserable or dead.
And let's remember that not Joe Biden, Clarence Thomas was also accused of inappropriate activity with a woman. I forget her name right now, but
Oh God.
back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember her name
I
right
can't
now.
think of her
But
name right now. Either.
anyways, who protected him?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Again, it's one big circle jerk.
Joe Biden covered what's her face? I forget her name right now, but Joe Biden asked her tough questions and basically embarrassed her in front of the entire country during the hearings, and protected Clarence Thomas to make sure he got into court. And he's a Democrat allegedly. So, anyways, let's get to firing members of agencies created by Congress. The Supreme Court will also take up the issue of Trump's authority to fire members of independent agencies in December. Trump v. Slaughter. It involves Trump removal of Rebecca Slaughter, Democratic appointee to the Federal Trade Commission. Anita Hill, thank you.
Oh.
Yep, Biden embarrassing, humiliated her during those hearings and pretty much got her to go away so Clarence Thomas could be appointed to the court. Congress prohibited the firing of FTC members unless they demonstrate inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office. When the High Court agreed to hear the case, it stayed the lower court's decision ordering the Trump administration to reinstate Slaughter. In this case, the High Court would likely overrule its 1935 case of Humphrey Executor versus the United States, in which it upheld a law that forbade the president from firing commissioners on the Federal Trade Commission, absence of showing a good cause, which FDR is trying to do. It's fire.
What exactly does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? That I don't know what that has to do. What does that have to do with tariffs and who can create them or make them?
Well, this is we moved on to firing. Hang on, we moved on to firing members of agencies created by Congress.
Sorry. Okay.
So this is separate. Yeah. So in 1935, that case held that the president could not fire commissioners in the Federal Trade Commission without showing good cause, because FDR was trying to fire FTC members that didn't follow his they didn't want to do what he wanted them to do. So they had to protect them from FDR at the time, because FDR is pretty authoritarian too on the left. So that's what lefties don't want to admit that part about FDR. The courts ruled that Congress can limit the president's authority to remove members of the FTC and other agencies that perform quasi-legislative or quasi-judicial function. On its emergency docket, the High Court in Slaughter and two other cases temporarily blocked the federal district court rulings that had prevented Trump from firing agency heads of the FTC, the National Labor Relations Board, and the Merit System Protection Board, the Consumer Protection Safety Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission. Trump's argument he should be able to remove agency heads for any reason is grounded on the unitary executive theory. So this is something that not only Trump believes, a lot of conservatives believe, legal theory. Adherents to that theory believe that Article 2 of the Constitution establishes a hierarchical, unified executive department under the direct control of the president, who alone possesses all the executive power and therefore can direct, control, and supervise inferior officers or agencies who seek to exercise discretionary executive power. In other words, the president has full control over the executive, and Congress cannot interfere and cannot regulate him.
Again, why do we have this silly game of checks and balances? Why don't they just get rid of the Constitution and make the executive branch the all-powerful, mighty emperors of the world?
This is a bastardization of everything the founders believed, because they would have never, but ever allowed the executive to become this powerful. And it's clear from all their writings, even the Constitution itself. I mean, it's clear that what they intended was Congress to have all the power, not the president. But, actually since 9/11, the presidency has gotten more and more powerful. In 1988, the case of Morrison versus Olson, the Supreme Court upheld the provision of the 1970 Ethics in Government Act, which was enacted in the wake of Watergate. It said that the special prosecutor could only be removed by the president only for good cause. The ruling was an implicit rejection to unitary executive theory. Antonin Scalia maintained in dissent to the Constitution's Article 2 vesting clause, which says the executive power shall be vested in the President of the United States, does not mean some of the executive power, but all of executive power.
Well, Scalia also believed that the devil was running around.
Well, yeah. Hey, Macy.
Hey, Maisie.
Sorry. A majority of members of the Supreme Court now subscribes to the unitary executive theory, which once a marginal notion in Trump v. Mazar. John Roberts wrote for the court that the president is the only person who alone composes a branch of government, an opinion he reiterated in Trump versus the United States.
Okay, so why do we need you dumbasses on the courts? Why do we need a Supreme Court?
Again, they're about to hand Trump ultimate power because they're pretty much going to rubber stamp the unitary executive theory into basically into law. Because you could see it, they're ready. John Roberts is pro it. Amy Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, and Gorsuch are all heading in that direction slowly but surely. So, and once these rulings come down, it's going to be tough to overturn them because you're going to need one or two generations a new Supreme Court justice in order for that to happen.
That's if 90% of us aren't dead from being killed by rich people.
Yeah. If the High Court grants the president removal power over independent agencies, those agencies will no longer remain independent. The bodies that regulate our health, safety, labor, environment, and consumer products will be subject to political manipulation by the president. Now let's get to removing a governor from the Federal Reserve Board. In January, the court reviews Trump's attempt to remove Lisa Cook, a member of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, who is serving a 14-year term. He tried to fire Cook for alleged mortgage fraud before she joined the board. Under U.S. law, a Fed board member who has been appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate can only be removed for cause, a term that the law leaves undefined. Trump asserts that his allegations against Cook constitute sufficient cause. So I really can't speak English right now.
It's okay. It's in English.
Motherfucker, do you speak it?
Right now.
The thing is, if you don't think that fraud is probable cause, I mean, everybody in Washington is corrupt anyway. They all.
So basically, I do believe that this woman did commit fraud. There's plenty of evidence to prove it. But however, Trump is mad at her because she won't do his bidding. So he's going to remove her based on that and then hire somebody.
That's not,
who will do his bidding,
that's not right. But he's going to get his way anyway because again, he is the village idiot, and the puppeteers are making him dance. I mean, it's really disgusting. Again, why do we have a constitution anymore? Why don't we just stop playing this stupid game and say that the president is now the emperor of everybody, and guess what? Death to you poor people and rich people. You just frolic among the others.
A U.S. District Court temporarily blocked Cook's dismissal while her lawsuit makes its way to the courts, and Trump v. Cook, the Supreme Court delayed rendering a decision and scheduled the case for oral arguments. In this case, the court could decide whether Trump had cause for firing Cook and or whether Congress has the authority to limit the removal of Federal Reserve Board governors. Unlike in other cases which the Supreme Court allowed Trump's firings of agency heads to occur, even if the legal challenges proceed, the court allowed Cook to stay on the Fed board pending a decision in her case. That may mean the court will distinguish the Federal Reserve Board from other federal agencies, particularly in light of Trump's repeated threats aimed at Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
But notice how when they said about, ouch, that hurt. So notice how they said about, he's not going after her for the mortgage fraud. Again, it's not about, the crimes that they actually did commit. They're just, making up bullshit so they can get away with stuff.
It's like Letitia James or whatever. Trump is also, the Justice Department's accusing her of mortgage fraud too, and trying to go after her based on that. So it's not just this woman here. It's also Letitia James or whatever her name is. So this is a big one. Ending birthright citizenship. Although yet not on its calendar, the High Court will likely review Trump's January executive order purporting to end birthright citizenship. Section 1 of the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside.
So, question. We were all born in the United States here, so that means us too. So we're not citizens of the United States, even though we were born here.
I don't understand if this is overturned. I don't understand who's a
All
citizen
persons
who isn't
born
one.
or naturalized in the United States. So we don't belong to the United States. Again, I can't stress this enough. This is literally where the rich people will say, guess what, poor people? You are no longer citizens. Now we can all round you up by ICE. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And don't tell me about the
So
dreamers and they come here pregnant and they have the baby and now it's a U.S. citizen. Yes, because if I was born in the UK, I would be a UK person. If I was born in Canada, I would be a Canadian. This is the fact that the parents are illegal means fucking nothing. Okay, it means nothing. Yeah. The child was born here, dumb motherfuckers.
This is what the conservatives call the anchor babies. Basically, they're born here in the United States, so they're citizens, even though their parents are not. So that's what they're trying to get rid of, the anchor babies. But if you get rid of the 14th Amendment, who's a citizen?
Yeah,
because we don't know that question.
None of us are, because we're all born here. So are our parents.
Yeah. In 1898 landmark decision of the United States versus Wong, Kim Ark, the Supreme Court held that the 14th Amendment guarantees citizenship to virtually all individuals born within the U.S. borders, with exception for children of foreign diplomats or enemy occupiers. Although the cases are expected children in indigenous tribes, Congress granted them citizenship in 1924 Indian Citizenship Act. Which, by the way, those Indians didn't want it, but
they didn't want it because they literally hated the U.S. government because they literally slaughtered them by the millions.
It's very similar to what happened in Puerto Rico. I mean, they basically forced citizenship on Puerto Ricans through the Jones Act in order to send them off to World War I in the front lines with black people.
Here's who's going to have citizenship: anyone who has a real ID, or if you're rich. That's who. That literally is who's going to have it. If you don't have any of that stuff, oh well, guess you're not a citizen. Now you'll be arrested by ICE. You know what? Come for me, ICE. Come for me, because I will blow your motherfucking heads off. And I won't even use my dad's gun. I'll find one.
Trump's executive order says only children whose parents are U.S. citizens or permanent residents are U.S. citizens.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's not what that says.
This is Trump's executive order, basically arguing that the only way children are U.S. citizens if they're born, if parents are U.S. citizens, which is not what the 14th Amendment says.
That's not what that says.
Lawsuits were filed in the states of Washington, Maryland, and Massachusetts. In all three cases, federal district court judges granted injunctions and blocked the operation of Trump orders nationwide while the legal issues worked their way through courts.
And Trump, that wouldn't work for you. His mother's not. His mother was not born here. His father was.
Yeah, Fred Trump was. That's the thing, and technically, a lot of Trump's children wouldn't work either because their mother.
He admitted that he was loaned us. He had a small loan of $1 million or whatever. He said.
Yeah, that makes him. What did someone say? It was on Fox News. They called him a blue collar millionaire. That's not a thing, motherfuckers.
No, he claimed that
Melania's not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, neither is Trump's first wife, who's the mother of Tiffany and the other older children.
Marla Maple.
Yeah.
She's
not a U.S. citizen either. I think she's Eastern European too, right?
Because Trump so it's not Tiffany time? Nah, just kidding.
It's not Tiffy time, no.
The first.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, Trump's mother is from Scotland.
Yeah. So, the First, Fourth, and Ninth Circuit Courts of Appeals denied the Trump administration's request to stay the motions. On September 26, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to review the cases from the First, Ninth Circuits that found that Trump orders on birthright citizenship to be unconstitutional. The High Court would likely grant review of these cases. Let's see.
And they'll let him get away with it. And if you bring up the fact that his mother was born in Scotland, he'll go, so? My dad was born here. Yeah, but you said both parents.
Both parents.
Two parents. Your mother was not born here. Ted Cruz is not a U.S. citizen, and yet he's a senator.
Macy,
he was born in fucking Canada.
Melania is a U.S. citizen. Yeah, under Trump's own rules, Yeah, he's just screwed over his whole family, if this goes into effect.
Hey, I sent him back to Scotland.
Yeah, Trump's fashioned a court to do his bidding. Yeah, this is Trump was, not really Trump. His handlers did this brilliantly because I don't think Trump had anything to do with this. He was told who to appoint to the courts. By packing the court with three radical right wingers during his first term, Trump fashioned a reactionary radical right wingers during his first term. Trump fashioned a reactionary supermajority to do his bidding. Indeed, last year, Trump beat the United States. The court held 6-3 that presidents have absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for core official acts, whatever that means, and presumptive immunity for all other official acts, while admitting that it's difficult to distinguish official from unofficial acts. So, in other words, the president has immunity from everything. He can do whatever he wants. He can commit war crimes. He can murder people, and nobody really come after the president. Anyway, they're not going to do it anyways.
It's like the mafia, it's literally like the mafia rules. Macy, I understand that, but I mean, anyone who tells you that immigrants are getting all the health care is literally bullshitting you. They're literally trying to get you to hate immigrants. And it's literally, your enemy is not immigrants. Your enemy is the rich. The rich are the ones who are denying you health care while they're pretending to give it to immigrants. And like I saw this on Jimmy Dore, and that's why I was like, I got to turn this off, because literally he's like, oh, well, they're putting immigrants in these nice hotels and stuff. And I'm like, no, they're not. That's all a bullshit lie. That is a bullshit lie. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I was watching it with Kit, and he was talking to Kit about Chicago, and it might have been, I don't know if it was him, but it might have been like Kurt Metzger or something had said something. Oh, they're putting them up in nice hotels.
I think that would be Kurt Metzger.
I would guess that's
no,
Kurt
they
that
aren't.
said that, not
That's
Jimmy.
a lie. The lie that they're perpetrating so that you will hate immigrants.
What was Kit's response to him? Did he respond to that?
He more talked to Jimmy.
Oh.
Yeah, I would try. Honestly, I don't know how much you want to push back on that, because Jimmy is Kurt's, they're friends, and it's like, if I want access to Jimmy Dore's platform, I'm gonna have to pivot away from this, and talk about something else.
But it's not true. It's a lie that
I know.
they're
No, I know it's not
perpetrating.
true. But
yeah,
I'm
I know
just saying.
you know that. And Kit knew that too. He was just like, no, I'm pretty sure. He's trying to take it back to the protests that were happening.
Yeah, I would have pivoted away too. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, not go there because it's just gonna derail the whole segment. The Supreme Court may decide to review other cases, including Trump's authority to deploy federal forces to U.S. cities, deport Venezuelans under the Alien Enemy Act of 1798, and refuse to spend funds appropriated.
They want to fuck with Venezuelans because, again, they want that oil for themselves. I heard someone say, how dare they have oil under our, how dare they have our oil under their land?
Yeah,
they said that about Mexico too.
Yeah, they are. I've been covering it on the show for weeks. They are ready to pretty much invade. It's just Trump is looking for that excuse, like something, either some sort of attack, or maybe they'll do a false flag. Like it's literally happened before in American history, where the U.S. was desperate to invade Cuba, so they came to Kennedy with the I think Operation Northwoods, which was literally treason. They were ready to bomb U.S. cities and kill U.S. citizens to justify the invasion. And Kennedy refused to do it, of course. I mean, it's treason. It was literally treason what the military wanted to do. So,
and that's why they probably got rid of him.
Yeah. He wouldn't do... And he would... And look, again, we can debate Kennedy's role in Vietnam, because he did bomb Vietnam once or twice, but he was definitely not comfortable doing a full-blown invasion the way that Lyndon Johnson would go on to do. So that's another reason why they probably eliminated him, because they were desperate to go to Vietnam in order to stop the communist takeover.
Right.
Which, by the way,
they don't want any communist or socialist, governments to take over, or not take over, but they don't want any to thrive. And Venezuela is a socialist country, or at least it was trying to be. So because if they see, socialism does work, we will want that here because, it's public owned. So, healthcare would be public owned. So everyone would have some. But no, we can't let that happen because, communism bad. if you think that communism and socialism are bad or worse than capitalism, then you don't know what those two words mean. You just heard on your whatever news of choice or fake news of choice that communism bad, but you don't know what it is.
You mean like your dad?
Yeah, I mean, even my dad, he always says, "Oh, those damn communists." I'm like, "You mean capitalists?"
Those commies.
Those damn
Goddamn
commies. Get out of my city.
as it did when the cases testing Trump power came before it on the emergency docket, the High Court would likely affirm most of his actions, underscoring the immunity that's granted him in his last term and ratifying his authoritarian program. So this is Professor is basically describing her. Wait, see, this is done. Yep. So there you go. Sorry to go to the boring legal stuff, but also
so now
I thought
it's
it was
going to be the president of, or the emperor of the United States, who literally is going to go around and just kill poor people for fun.
I like the legal stuff. I mean, I'm kind of a law nerd, but at the same time, I know
You
most
should
people
really
aren't.
go for law. You should be a lawyer.
I'm nearly 40, so by the time I even finish it, I'll probably be nearly 50. But yeah, people tell me that I should have probably gone to law school. I'm like, yeah, but if I would have done that, then So I appreciate the the confidence, but at the same time, it's like,
but don't tell people that, because if they hear that the roads are socialism, the firefighters, the police, not the police,
I try to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think the police are being privatized, to be honest, and they only work for rich people. But I mean, like firefighters, rescue services, state workers, federal workers are all socialism. That is correct. But don't tell people that, because they'll be like, no, it isn't. You're just making that up, you commie. Oh, fuck you then. What you think you get to be on those roads for free just because, out of the goodness of people's hearts?
Yep.
And who do you think who fixes or not fixes those roads? The government. That's public owned. That's why they said adopt a road or adopt a street.
We talked about ICE a little earlier, but there's an irony here, which I'm not going through this whole article, but there's an irony here that by enabling police surveillance, elected officials fuels Trump's agenda. Illinois officials have quietly constructed a statewide surveillance apparatus that fuels ICE deportation machines. So at one point, one side of their mouth, they're saying, we got to do everything we can to stop ICE, Trump's ICE. The other side of their mouth, they're quietly constructing a statewide surveillance apparatus that makes deportation easier. So which one is it, Democrats?
Of course.
See, again, here we go again. It's like they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Publicly, they're like, oh, yeah, but fuck ICE. We're going to get rid of ICE from Illinois. We'll do everything we can. Oh, by the way, quietly, we're creating a statewide surveillance apparatus that helps ICE. It can easier deport you. Sorry.
Yeah, they always do. Again, they're watching you through these cell phones. They're watching you through these. They're watching through this computer right here because it's connected to the internet. So yeah, they're already watching you. And trust me, poor people, when it comes down to it, we're all fucked. ICE is not just going to go after Latinos. Soon they're going to go after you.
Oh, by the way, who created ICE ultimately? George W. Bush did, but who assisted him? The Democrats. A lot of Democrats that are still in the Senate and the House today helped create ICE. So,
remember, Bill Clinton was the one who pretty much started it all,
That fucking pedophile?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one. He was the Democrat that pretended to be that started everything. That started the Jesus, I can't even spit it out. But he's the one that's
If I told my dad that his Medicare or not Medicare, Medicare, Medicaid, and his Social Security money
finally beat Medicare.
America's dead. Okay. Macy, if I told my dad, who was an ex-Marine guy, or not ex-Marine, ex-military, if I told him that his Social Security and his Medicare was literally socialism, I think he would have a heart attack. He would say, no, it's capitalism.
Wait, what does she mean that his father didn't know he was a firefighter? I don't.
No, I told my dad he was a firefighter until I told him he didn't know, and he was concerned.
Until she told me that. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Macy had to tell her own father that, you know,
Yep.
you telling the truth, and I understand people don't like the truth. Hey, I mean, yeah, I tell my dad all the time, you want to watch that soap opera, that show where rich people, they were making fun of today, not today, last night on the Gutfeld or whatever the fuck his name is. They were making
Greg
fun
Gutfeld.
of uh well, they were making fun of Kathy Griffin. I don't really like Kathy Griffin. I never thought she was funny.
Yeah.
But they were also making fun of poor people.
Yeah.
So there
Like
you go.
that one of that Fox News hosts, like you brought up a lot. Forget his
Brian
name.
Kilmeade. Yeah. I mean, literally, Brian Kilmeade said on TV, he literally said on primetime TV, we should just kill poor people. There you go. That's what the rich think about you. But my dad doesn't want to see
News,
that.
Mhm.
I expect Fox News to hire Xavier, whatever his last name, you know, the African American guy who's, you know,
Xavier Woods?
no, you know who I'm talking about, right?
That black guy. I mean, I forget his name, and I think I know you're talking about.
You know,
Anyways,
the one, you know who she is, Steph. You know the one that he and Max Blumenthal argued just recently, and he was in that video with Emily Austin. Is that her name? Emily Austin Angel? Is that her name?
I think so. I don't remember.
You know,
exactly.
where it's like you must hate Jews, and you're disgusting terrorist. You know that guy. You know, with the blonde
Jews.
hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't be anti-Semitic. That's one thing you're definitely not allowed to do.
I'm pretty
in
sure for
society.
show you
Being
stuff,
Zionist is one
recognize
thing, being Jewish is another.
Here,
Yeah.
President. I'll show you stuff, or I'll show it to Angel first, and then he'll bring it up.
President Trump authorized the CIA to conduct lethal covert action in Venezuela. The Trump administration authorized the CIA to take covert action inside of Venezuela, including lethal operations, the New York Times reported, as the administration push towards regime change heats up. President Trump later confirmed that he authorized the covert action and said that the U.S. was considering attacks on Venezuelan territory. We're certainly looking at the land now because we've got the sea very well under control, he said. Oh, by the way, you're not supposed to admit that you authorize CIA to do covert actions. You're supposed to ignore the question or deny it. You're just admitting to be,
They say the quiet parts out. They don't have to do anything but say the quiet parts out loud anymore. It's not really a big secret that they want to take over Venezuela. And it's for the oil.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do other than the oil.
Yeah, that's why Trump said in his first term they put in Juan Guaido. It failed miserably, and by the time Biden took office, he was gone. I don't know where I think he's living in
Literally
the US
got kicked out of that restaurant. Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, I think it's Miami. Yeah, he's living in Miami now. I think. President Trump later
fucking
blah, blah,
Venezuela,
blah, okay.
they didn't even know who he was. They're like, who the fuck is that?
No. My phone's slow. I think about to watch from my TV. I think they're trying to get me to upgrade. Yeah, look, if it's an iPhone that you have, if you have an older iPhone, Apple purposely slows down your phone. This will force you into an upgrade.
Get out.
They've admitted to doing this. Yeah.
Wow.
If you have an old, so Apple has admitted to doing this. They slow down your service on purpose in order to force you to buy a new iPhone.
Okay, fuck Apple.
So I assume Google does it with Android too, but they haven't admitted to it because Apple was forced to admit.
No,
Apple forces that.
They want me to upgrade to a 25, but I told them I don't have the money for it, and my phone's been just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Apple was forced to admit it in court. That's why they've admitted to doing this. But yeah, I mean, they do this. U.S. officials told Times that the authority allows CIA to take action against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro or his government, either unilaterally or in conjunction with the U.S. military. The report said that it is not known whether the CIA is currently planning operations inside Venezuela or if the authority would be used for future plans. The U.S. military has been drawing up plans to launch strikes on Venezuelan territory, potentially capture strategic ports and airfields, action that would almost certainly lead to a full-blown war. The U.S. military campaign in the region has so far involved the buildup of warships and about 10,000 U.S. troops in the Caribbean and strikes with 5 boats the U.S. has claimed without providing evidence that we're running drugs. Most of these 10,000 troops are in Puerto Rico, by the way. A lot of this stuff's going on in Puerto Rico, so that's the staging ground for the invasion.
Angel, I sent you those couple tweets so you could show Stephen Xavier is.
Hold on. I can pivot to that real quick and come back.
This stuff just
Oops.
makes me sick. I mean, they're never going to stop fucking with Venezuela, and we really have no reason to go in there except for the
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah.
I think they said Venezuela, and we're not going to see a dime of that. We are not going to see a dime of
No.
that shit.
So you don't recognize
That's going to.
Steph?
I've seen.
The black
I've
guy or
seen
the
this
girl?
Yeah,
guy.
the black guy. Yeah.
The black.
No,
Yeah,
I've
I've
never
seen
seen
this
the black
guy.
guy.
Well, he made a couple appearances on Piers Morgan during the Palestinian protests at universities, and he was basically running down the protesters and saying they were dirty and disgusting and stuff. I do remember. That's where I remember him
He's
from.
probably a rich guy who literally is a pedophile. I
He's
bet you if
supposed to
you
be
look into
an
his
influencer.
background, he's probably
He's-
a pedophile.
He's also one of the guys besides Emily Austin and the others who got paid $7,000.
Yeah, it
Oh,
says
give me
Xavier de
$7,000. You'll never see my white ass again.
Xavier de Rousseau attended the secret Hamptons influencer summit with Bill Ackman and then junketed off to Israel. Of course, immediately had to go off to Israel to kiss
He looks gay
Netanyahu's ring.
too.
I saw a funny
Yeah.
response where you look like a ripoff of that Chris Tucker character from Fifth Element.
Yeah, so Gen X girl says
I like
Xavier
Chris
de
Tucker,
Rousseau.
but
Yeah,
this-
Xavier de Rousseau defends Israel's genocide. Israel 365 paid trip to Israel. RNC Youth Advisory Council. Bill Ackman's Hampton pro-Israel influencer event, where Charlie Kirk was reportedly yelled at for not supporting Israel more. So
yeah, you gotta suck that dick good, guys. If you're gonna suck
Apparently,
Israel
Charlie
dick,
Kirk-
you gotta suck it good.
Charlie Kirk was not pro-Israel enough, according to these people. So
Yeah, that's why Israel got rid of him.
yep. While combating drug trafficking is the pretext for the U.S. military operations, U.S. officials have made it clear that the real goal is regime change, which is what I talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Officials are hoping.
I just want to say something. That Topher comment. Yes, that's what he said in that video. Don't be mad about Shabbat. You can't even get in, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Shabbat? What the hell is a Shabbat?
Shabbat. It's a Jewish.
Oh,
It's
I
Jewish.
haven't. I know an Ebot or Esbot. That's
U.S.
a
officials
Wiccan
are
holiday.
hoping
wow,
Maduro steps down.
Angel, George Springer had to leave the game because I guess he got hit by a pitch on his knee. So.
Oh God. Well, there you go. Maduro steps down voluntarily, or that someone in his inner circle turns him in due to the $50 million U.S. bounty on his head. And that the deluge of leaks and reports about potential U.S. military action is part of that pressure campaign. But it's unlikely that Maduro, who was targeted by a failed regime change effort during Trump's first term, will be unseated. The Trump administration appears determined to keep escalating the pressure on him. Maduro has made it clear that he's willing to reach a deal with the U.S. and has cooperated on U.S. deportation flights, but it hasn't stopped the U.S. pressure on him. In fact, there was an article that I read, which I couldn't find, that basically Maduro basically went to Trump's like, hey, look, I'll give you whatever you want. Just don't invade me. And of course, the administration turned him down. It wasn't about that. He gave him everything, gave him all the oil, privatized everything. Just don't invade, please. And he said no. He gave him everything he wanted.
They wanted it all.
Got the mic.
No, but they want it all, basically.
Yeah, he was willing to give up most and privatize the oil. He's willing to do whatever Trump wanted in order to stop an invasion. And he still wouldn't do it. Trump still said no. Because it wasn't about they want to get rid of him. They want a puppet. And Maduro's not a puppet because they're afraid he's going to turn on them at some point. The Times report also
he's
noted,
a puppet to a point, right?
Yeah, the Times reported that the policy towards Venezuela is being driven by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who also serves as Trump National Security Advisor, and CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and other officials who preferred diplomacy, including U.S. Special Envoy Rick Grenell, who held direct talks with Maduro, has been pushed aside as Trump has cut off diplomatic efforts from the Venezuelan government. So they're pushing for an invasion. I don't know when the invasion isn't going to happen. It could happen as quickly as next week, or it could happen. I mean, we're looking at a long-term invasion, and they're going to have to occupy Venezuela. Because what do you think? Maduro's supporters are just going to allow this and not have
Here we come another proxy war.
Yeah, just basically another armed resistance of the U.S. military and the U.S. government. Of course not. It's gonna be like Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're not just going to allow the capitalists to come in and take control of their country.
Right.
So without a fight.
Right.
So even if U.S. removes and kills Maduro, that fight's still going to continue.
And it's
And it's going to
sickening.
be long
It's
term.
gross. I hate it. The fact that we have a government that literally is so fucking greedy that they would do anything to get that oil, and you're not going to see a drop of it. Gas prices are still going to be $4, $5, $6, and oh well, fuck you, poor people. If you can't get to work, that's your problem. Take the bus, even if you ain't got no money.
Yep. So we got more here. We have the head of U.S. Southern Command to resign and retire in order to.
About that.
Yeah. The head of U.S. Southern Command to step down amid strikes on boats and push toward Venezuela regime change. According to the New York Times, Admiral Alvin Hosley has raised concern about the bombing boats and policy towards Venezuela. So what happens? The Trump administration forces him out because, as the head of U.S. Southern Command, he has a lot of authority. And so if he's expressing concern to the White House, it's like, no, we're going to do this no matter what. So go away. The head of the U.S. Southern Command, the military commander overseeing the U.S. escalations in the Caribbean and push towards the attempt of regime change in Venezuela, is stepping down, the Pentagon announced on Thursday. According to the statement from Southcom, Commander Admiral Alvin Hosley, who served in the position for less than a year, said he would be retiring on December 12, 2025, ending a 37-year military career. No reason given for resignation, but according to the New York Times, he had raised concerns about the U.S. military mission in the Caribbean, which has involved significant buildup of forces and the bombing of 5 boats that the Trump administration has claimed without providing evidence for carrying drugs. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth issued a statement on Hosley's retirement and praised the admiral, but the Times report said the official at the Pentagon and on Capitol Hill said the praise masked real policy tensions concerning Venezuela that the admiral and his civilian bosses were seeking the paper over. Reuters also reported a source that there was tension between Hosley and Hegseth and questions about whether he should be fired in the days leading up to the announcement. So if I'm have a military career at 37 years and some Fox News host is trying to tell me how to do my job, it's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, did you
off me a
serve?
Fox News
Wait,
host.
Fox News host who? Who was it?
Pete Hegseth.
Who never
He's a
fucking
Fox News
served
host.
in his life. And yet you're going to sit there and talk. That would be like talking to my dad and saying, hey, you need to go do this. My dad would tell you to go suck a dick because, I mean, he's been in the military. He served his country.
Yeah.
What were you doing? You were literally sucking the dick of other rich people so that you could have more money. You never fucking worked a day in your life. Go fuck yourself.
Hegseth served in Iraq, technically. It's kind of like the Pete Hegseth thing. Not Pete Buttigieg thing, where he served like 2 weeks. And then he went back home and said, I'm a military member.
But the Trump
things.
supporters are like, our Pete is so much better,
Yeah. He pulled the Pete Buttigieg thing where he ended up 2 weeks somewhere safe in Afghanistan, and then he served in the military.
It's like,
that's what Hegseth experienced.
Elvis was in the military too, but he never he never was in combat. They just stuck him in some kind of, special base or whatever, and he never had to do nothing.
Where it was no threat.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what they wanted to do with Muhammad Ali. They was going to serve, but they wanted to protect him and put him somewhere safe, but he still refused because he's like, no,
he has morals and principles.
Yeah. So that's why he lost the heavyweight title for that first time because he refused to serve.
But at least he stood up for his morals and his beliefs. Yeah, I heard about that too. And this is ridiculous. This is like it's like a party train. Like these people could not sell pussy on a troop train even if they tried. You never heard that, Jim Cornette? He always says that.
The Trump administration come under significant criticism for its bombing campaign against alleged drug-running boats since the operations amount to extrajudicial executions. The Pentagon also provided Congress with no hard evidence to back up his claim about the strikes. By the way, who started extrajudicial executions? Obama. So Trump is taking it to his natural conclusion, like, let's just kill people for no reason. Obama did it. He got away with it.
We tortured.
Yep. U.S. officials have also been clear that the real purpose of the military campaign is to oust Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The administration had used drug trafficking as the pretext for the operations, pointing to the large number of overdose deaths in the U.S., but they are primarily caused by fentanyl, which doesn't come from Venezuela, or travel through the country on its way to the U.S. So it's a blatant lie. Only like less than 1% of the drugs come through Venezuela. So just a blatant lie, Trump is putting out there. President Trump recently authorized CIA to conduct lethal covert operations inside Venezuela. Blah blah. I already read that. So yeah, even the head of the U.S. Southern Command is like, this is bullshit. What are we doing here? And he got some Fox News host telling him what to do. It's like, I'm out, man. I'm retiring. Had enough of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, literally, what I say to this Fox News host, when are you going to have poor people on your show? Oh, never, because you're a rich fucking person who literally is probably a fucking pedophile? Go suck your dick. All these motherfuckers,
So,
they want to
the
sit
most
from,
recent-
sorry, just really quick. They want to sit in their like air conditioned offices and literally talk down to poor
Cheers,
people.
Guardians.
You're not out there on the front
So the
lines.
most-
You're sitting on your ass all fucking day and you think that, oh, well, I've seen life. No, you haven't seen nothing, baby. You have never had to work a 9-to-5 job to make ends meet, motherfucker. You just sit there and get paid $30,000 a fucking day to say, oh, but poor people.
Yeah, so this is the most recent bombing of a boat from the U.S. Unfortunately, they killed citizens of Trinidad. The Trinidad citizens believed to be killed in the U.S. airstrike off the coast of Venezuela. So it's Rishi Shamaru and Chad Charpo Joseph, believed to have been on the boat Trump alleged was carrying drugs to the U.S. Family member and neighbors have identified.
They had no evidence.
Not even from Venezuela. They were from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, well.
Who were believed
They're just a bunch of poor people, right?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Close enough,
right? Who believed to be among the 6 people killed in a U.S. airstrike on a boat allegedly transporting drugs from Venezuela. Without providing evidence, U.S. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that the strike in international waters had killed 6 narco-terrorists, which is made up, and claimed that intelligence confirmed the vessel was carrying narcotics and it was associated with illicit narco-terrorist networks. By the way, I still can't believe we're in a timeline where Donald Trump's president. I mean, I'm still kind of blown away.
And all the people said he was never going to be president.
In 2016, I knew he'd get elected. I mean, it was obvious that the country was behind Trump, and oh no, Hillary's going to win. Like, yeah, good luck with that. Trinidad police said they were confirming whether Trinidadians were among the dead, but residents of the North Coast fishing village of Las Cuevas told The Guardian that 2 locals, Chad Carpo Joseph and Rishi Shamaru, were on the sunken vessel. Shamaru was released from prison in 2021 after serving time in his role for a 2009 murder of a street vendor. Speaking with local media outlets, Joseph's aunt, Lynette Burnley, said her 26-year-old nephew was not involved in drugs and lamented the family had no body to bury. I leave everything in God's hands, she said. Burnley told AFP by phone that people in her family knew in Venezuela told them he was on the boat. According to maritime law, if you see a boat, you're supposed to stop the boat and intercept it, not just blow it up. That's our Trinidadian maritime law, and I think every fisherman and every human knows that, she said. Well, yeah, maritime law does basically force people to stop and to see who they are, and not just to blow them out of the water and murder them. But the U.S. doesn't have to follow any law. Their own law, international law, maritime law, it doesn't matter. They don't have to follow any of it. Nobody's going to stop us. Burnley said her son was planning to return to Trinidad and Tobago after spending 3 months with family in Venezuela, 6.8 miles away. Joseph's grandmother also rejected claims of trafficking, calling the attack wickedness. At least 27 people have been killed so far in hunted attacks off the coast of Venezuela. The Trump administration says are necessary to protect the United States from narcotics struggle from Venezuela, which, by the way, is 0.5%. Like, what are we doing here? It's less than 1% of narcotics coming through Venezuela. So why? Why not? Why not?
Again, whoever has Venezuela gets the oil.
Yeah, that's what it's really about. It's not about drugs. I mean, hell, if Trump cared about drugs, he would order the CIA to stop trafficking.
Exactly.
But he's not going to do that.
CIA is the
They're
one
the traffickers.
who literally brings the fentanyl and the drugs that the Americans consume.
Yep. Last month, fishers in La Cuevas told The Guardian that they were afraid of being caught in crossfire amid Trump's war on drugs in the region. Instead of their usual route heading west toward Venezuela, fishers are now heading east, staying close to the coast of Trinidad. The Washington Post reported on Thursday that the U.S. has since expanded its mission with elite Special Operations Aviation Unit helicopters conducting training exercises in the region. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bizanar had previously expressed strong support for a U.S. strike of Venezuela's based drug vessel, telling local journalists that she had no sympathy for traffickers and that the U.S. military should kill them violently, and added the military mission to reduce violence in the region and asked for divine protection for the U.S. personnel involved in the mission. Oh, by the way, 2 of your citizens were just murdered by the U.S., so you gonna be outraged by that or not?
I mean, I am, because I hate the fact that they're just killing randomly people. But I mean, I don't have a lot of power or a lot of sway, so they just say, "Oh, shut up, poor person," you know.
Yep. And one more thing here.
But remember, everyone, your
Antigua
tax
and
dollars go to killing poor people around the world.
Antigua and Barbados Prime Minister Gaston Brown made it clear that his country had no interest in hosting foreign military installations, after Grenada's Military Foreign Affairs confirmed that it's carefully reviewing requests from the U.S. for temporary installation of radar equipment and associated technical personnel. In response to U.S. military buildup in the region, Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela's president, ordered large-scale military exercises on Wednesday, and he says he's mobilizing the military, police, and civilian militia to defend his country. So there you go.
And I hope
they
he
accidentally
does,
killed
because I
citizens
mean,
from Trinidad.
this is outrageous.
Yep.
He has to defend his country, and if someone says, "Oh well, yeah, but Israel has a right to defend itself," go fuck yourself. Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela is a different story. They have a right to defend themselves, because literally we are just finding anything and anything to go out there and fucking say, "Oh well, nice country, be really bad if something happened to it."
So Trump is doing more. Has another meeting scheduled with Putin. Trump speak with Putin, says they will meet in Budapest for more talks on ending the Ukraine war. U.S. and Russian officials will hold talks next week before the next Trump-Putin summit. President Trump said Thursday that he spoke by phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin and that he will soon meet in person again with the Russian leader in Budapest, Hungary, to discuss the possibility of ending the war in Ukraine. Well, here's the thing. Russia's made it clear they're not backing down from their demands, and President Trump has no interest in their deal. So what's the point of speaking? I guess more like, hey, how you doing, Vladdy? Good? Okay, we have no deal, right? Okay, great. Let's just keep fighting. What's the point? Nothing's going to change unless Trump changes his mind and agrees to some sort of deal, which is not going to happen, by the way. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that high-level U.S. and Russian officials will hold talks next week before he has a summit with Putin. At the conclusion of the call, we've all agreed that there are meetings of high-level advisors next week. Yeah, the United States initial meetings will be held by Secretary of State Marco Rubio together with various other people to be designated. A meeting location is to be determined, Trump wrote. Trump is doing foreign policy to Truth Social. Like, what the hell? I mean, he's, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing all these negotiations and, we're going to meet later this week and blah, blah, blah. Like doing it to social media, huh? It's a new era in American politics. President Putin and I will meet in an agreed upon location in Budapest, Hungary, to see whether we can bring this inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine to an end, the president added. Trump said that he and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will discuss the planned meeting when Zelensky visits the White House on Friday, which he did visit today, by the way.
Oh, good. Another blowjob for Trump.
President Zelensky and I will be meeting tomorrow in the Oval Office, where we will discuss my conversation with President Putin and much more. I believe great progress was made today in telephone conversation, he said. Zelensky is expected to ask Trump to provide Ukraine with Tomahawk missiles, which have the range over 1,000 miles and are nuclear capable, a step that would mark a major escalation in the proxy war and bring significant risk of conflict turning into direct confrontation between Russia and NATO. So, yeah, they do provide Tomahawk missiles. It's a major escalation because that means that those missiles can hit Moscow now. So that would be a major escalation of the war and be a huge mistake by Trump. Trump said Wednesday that he and Zelensky will also discuss the possibility of Ukraine going on the offensive. With what military? Like, what's he going to do? He has no military. This makes no sense. Going on an offensive with what military? What, U.S. military? Is that where we... I mean, that's the only way they could do it. If the
Yes,
U.S.
because
military
they want to
invade
keep
Russia.
this proxy war going so that literally they can fuck with Putin and then bring in World War III.
Oh, by the way, good luck doing a ground invasion in Russia in the middle of winter. I mean, empires have fallen because of that. So it's a terrible idea.
Think about Napoleon.
I mean, that's Napoleon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Doing a ground invasion of Russia in the winter. Hitler. Like, good luck with that. I mean, that's a terrible idea.
But hey, have fun doing it because you're going to keep your war.
Yeah. Something he says he needs to make a determination on. A delegation of Ukrainian officials have been in Washington this week pushing for more weapons and less diplomacy with Russia. So there you go. Trump and Putin are meeting again in Budapest next week, I think,
blowing
it is.
each other, yeah. Okay.
Hopefully something changes, but quite frankly, I don't see much changing there. It's just more of a, hey, let's meet, let's have some drinks. Trump doesn't drink, actually, but
yeah, that's that we know of. He just drinks to come out of Zelensky's dick.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's do a little Israel update here because we didn't really discuss them today.
Fuck Israel.
By the way, they are not honoring any of their the deal that they came to with Trump. They're still restricting aid into Gaza, by the way. So even though they're not supposed to anymore under this new deal. 2 million people continue to face hunger or thirst, while more than 460 Palestinians have died from starvation. What is that? This is bread. Like, they're so like, that bread must be the most delicious bread they've ever had once they eat it. I mean,
when you're starving, yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's it's horrible. Despite a ceasefire deal with Israel, Palestinians across the devastated Gaza Strip continue to go hungry as food supplies remain critically low and aid has failed to reach those who need it most. As per the ceasefire agreement, Israel was supposed to allow 600 humanitarian aid trucks into Gaza per day. However, Israel has since reduced the limit to 300 trucks per day, citing delays in retrieving bodies of Israeli captives buried under the rubble by Israeli attacks. So they just unilaterally decided, oh, fuck it, we're going to do 300 a day. Sorry, not 600 as we agreed to initially.
Of course, because Israel doesn't care. Fuck Israel. They're not going to... This little peace deal is all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just for...
we talked about it last week.
It literally has to be for Israel to be, more troops on something. There got to be... Something has to be up their sleeve. They got to be doing something shady.
It's always something. And Netanyahu can't wait to blame Hamas for it once it happens. And like, oh, I'm sorry, we got to scrap this peace deal, by the way. According to the UN 2720 monitoring and tracking dashboard, which monitors humanitarian aid being offloaded, collected, delivered, and intercepted on its way to Gaza from October 10th to the 16th, only 216 trucks have reached their intended destinations inside of Gaza. According to truck drivers, aid deliveries are facing significant delays, with Israeli inspection taking much longer than expected. Satellite images captured by Planet Labs on October 14 and 15 showed a large number of trucks queuing on the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing and heading towards the Kerm Abu Salem crossing.
Oh,
so
Riley just homered.
Oh, here's all the trucks. Looks like they're all here. Okay, you can barely see it on this picture, but they're all there, ready to come into Gaza.
God, if Kyle Riley wins MVP over Judge, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Oh yeah, I mean when we stream at the end of the year, well, I'm not sure when they'll announce the new MVP, but the next MVP, but we'll talk about that.
Hey Angel, did I say November 9th? Did I ask you to come on my show on November 9th? I think I did. I have to put that down.
No, let me double check. I think you said November 9th. Let's see. Before I finish this article. November 9th, at 4, you said. Palestinians want food, while food aid trucks have trickled in over the past few days. Medical equipment, therapeutic, nutrition, medicines are still extremely short supplied, despite being desperately needed by the most impoverished, particularly malnourished children. Reporting from Deir al-Balah in central Gaza, Al Jazeera Hind Karugari said some commercial trunks have entered Gaza over the past few days, and most Palestinians do not have the ability to buy any of the items they're bringing in, as they spent all their savings in the past 2 years. Wait, they still have to buy it? Like, how the fuck do you expect people to buy it?
That's not their
They've
problem,
been
is
bombed
it?
to smithereens. So far, what has arrived in the trucks include wheat, rice, sugar, oil, fuel, and cooking gas, she said. While food distribution points are expected to open for parcels and other humanitarian aid, people in Gaza yet to receive them. Palestinians want food, they want shelter, they want medicine. She added that 600 truck a day would be insufficient to meet the needs of Gaza's entire population. So there you go. This keeps going, but I
mean, it's almost time
there
to
you
go
go.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
that's
disgusting.
true.
Fuck Israel.
Mm-hmm.
The whole peace deal. Oh, they want to give Trump a Nobel Peace Prize for what? So that Israel can, get up their troops and they can start, ramping up even more bombing of Gaza. Come on, people. This is not what you think it is. Israel lies.
Mm-hmm.
So does Trump.
I mean, for those people who are saying there's no genocide in Gaza, just show them that image. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, look
Well,
at
they'll
this.
say, that's Ukraine after Putin did something to it.
Ukraine
No, you fucking moron. That's nowhere near Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the World Health Organization, infectious diseases spreading out of control in Gaza. The World Health WHO has warned that infectious diseases are spiraling out of control in the Gaza
I wonder
Strip.
why.
With only 13 of the Palestinians' 36 hospitals even partially functioning. Whether meningitis, diarrhea, respiratory illness, we're talking about a mammoth amount of work. A ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas has raised hope of life-saving aid and healthcare finally reaching Palestinians in Gaza after 2 years of war, but Balkany warned the challenges are unimaginable. We need more fuel to go into Gaza. We need more food, medical equipment, medications, medics, doctors, she said in an interview, echoing demands by international leaders for Israel to allow a massive
You're literally
increase of
talking
aid.
to deaf ears. They don't care.
WHO data shows only 8 health facilities, all of them partially functioning in Gaza City, the territory's main urban hub. Well, the organization says hospitals are still standing and suffering dire shortages of medical personnel who have themselves faced famine and Israel's relentless offensive, which has already claimed 68,000 lives, according to the territory's health ministry. The UN considered those figures reliable. That's a massive undercount. I don't think 68,000 lives.
I think it's more like over 100,000. Probably more than that.
Yeah, it has to be. They can't even count how many people have been killed. They just estimate 68,000. For Balkany, when he
Hamas October, that's what sparked the war. No, it didn't spark the war. What the fuck is that?
That's the lie that this article pushes here too. We're talking about billions of dollars and decades of work after territory healthcare was essentially dismantled. Since Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, which sparked the war, which is not true, it's a blatant lie, because this has been happening for decades. I mean, 2023 is just the most recent excuse Israel's had to invade. Gaza's health facilities have suffered more than 800 attacks, according to UN data. There's very little left of the healthcare system. You have children that were born over the past 2 years, who many of them, I'm assuming, have received 0 doses of immunization.
Again, they don't care about brown people.
Yeah. The UN says nearly 42,000 people are suffering life-changing injuries. A quarter of them are children. Balkany called for patients to be able to once again access the West Bank and Jerusalem so they can get the care that is available right close by. And that's the place where they used to go for care. Israel has severely limited permits for Palestinians to leave Gaza throughout the war, making medical evacuations nearly impossible. Mental health needs, on the other hand, have more than doubled among more than 2 million Palestinians trapped under bombardment for 2 years, according to WHO. Over 1 million people require urgent support, but available care falls far short. We're really hoping that the peace is fully sustained so we can start, Barkley said. There you go. Massive disease and mental health issues has popped up there. Of course, I mean, what do you expect? They're being bombed to smithereens, back to the Stone Age. Of course, there's mental health issues. And of course, there's major health issues. There's no functioning sewer system or bathrooms or anything. So what? I mean, shit and piss and vomit, and it all stays there. So that festers and that brings illness too. So what do you expect? It shouldn't be shocking to people. These people
And
that
they're
there's
worried
illness
about,
in
well, these
Gaza.
kids aren't getting their immunizations. They can't even get fucking food. Nobody can get food over there, you
Yeah.
dumb motherfuckers. I don't like the WHO. Fuck the WHO. You know, Bill Gates actually owns the WHO now.
You wait. You mean
Yeah, I
you don't
mean,
mean the Who, the rock band, right?
No, I mean the World Health Organization.
World Health Organization, who it's WHO.
WHO.
I
So yeah,
was like them.
No. The WHO, basically. The WHO is just another pedo infested rich people who literally is the head of the WHO is literally, he's a veterinarian. He doesn't even give a fuck about humans.
yeah, and so also Israel's also continuing to bomb Lebanon, even though they have a peace deal.
Shocker.
So
And of course, Saudi
also the
Arabia
U.S.
is still bombing Yemen.
Yeah, Saudi's still bombing Yemen. Fuck
that's
Saudi.
continuing.
But Saudi's going to be the new Japan, and they literally will own everything in the United States.
Well, I mean, Dubai is already ahead of Saudi Arabia, or I know that compares to the country, but Dubai is still far
The
ahead
U.S.
of them.
Also, the U.S. has bombed Somalia for the 82nd time this year already. So something
We
else has been
defeat
going
Somalia,
on.
now we're bombing it. I don't understand. It's like Haiti, you know?
Yeah, yeah, they're bombing.
Oh, now Western
we're
media is
just bombing.
interviewing, doing a lot of interviews with Syria's recent president, or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, the Al Qaeda guy, and that's now the president of the country. Again, the U.S. is now befriending an Al Qaeda guy, like we did back in the '80s when we called them the Mujahideen. You know, when Reagan
No,
called
now we
them
can just call them
freedom
terrorists with
fighters.
benefits.
Yep. Reagan had the Mujahideen in the White House talking about how they were freedom fighters against communism. This is bullshit. And oh, by the way, the Mujahideen split off after the war to the Taliban and Al Qaeda. So
Who we also propped up.
they split off.
Let's
And
tear
then
down
we
the
turned
wall.
around and called them terrorists.
Let's tear
Mr.
down
Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yeah, we were like 3 years old. You weren't even thought of yet, little brother.
Mr.
That was 89. We were 3 years old.
No, I was born in 91.
No, I'm saying the wall. The wall came down in 89.
Yeah, because
eventually,
because he said 3 years.
Yeah.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, sir. I mean, and now Democrats they try to nominate people that are just like Reagan, like with the flowery rhetoric.
I have a neighbor
Obama
over here
did
that
that
has a bumper sticker that says, "I miss Reagan." I'm like, you miss Reagan for what? The fact that he literally made sure that poor people never got a minimum wage increase. He made sure that basically the businesses took over, and now all the rich people own everything. And what about Reagan do you fucking miss?
I forgot to mention. I was going to mention this, but John Bolton was formally indicted for handling of his classified documents because he was
Hey, Jackie.
his house was raided. It was raided a month ago or something like that, and now now he's formally indicted. So
remember when Bernie Sanders defended Bolton?
Yeah, it was like,
surprise, motherfucker.
You got an indictment. There you go.
But they did not indict Comey. Isn't that funny?
No, I think they did indict.
They did indict Comey.
What'd they get him for?
It's just
I thought they were not guilty or something.
No, they got him for lying to Congress. He was indicted for that.
Wow, not for all the other shit he did. And the same with John Bolton.
Yeah. So they got Bolton for improper handling of classified documents.
Not for the fact that he literally loved every fucking war we've ever been in and like jacked off to every war we've ever wanted to be in. That's a guy who never met a war he didn't like.
Hey, Jackie. We're just about to wrap up here, but you can probably go back and watch in the beginning if you want, because we're about to wrap up here, but just mentioning some other news throughout the week. So, So tomorrow is we're doing pro wrestling talk at
Yes,
8
and I
o'clock.
have a lot to talk
We'll
about.
we'll be discussing the sudden turning of the vision on Seth Rollins.
I had to watch
And I say
Raw. Oh my
sudden
god, I had
because
to watch Raw.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
the sudden
Speaking of
that
wrestling, I'm sure you saw my post in the group with you Angel, Steph, and Dave about that female wrestler from Ring of Honor. I'm sure you guys saw that. Those couple posts I sent.
Wait, something about
yeah, I
like
think
a
I saw
pregnancy
it.
thing?
What? No.
Oh,
the tall female wrestler from Ring of Honor. If you
Oh,
go to
no.
the group that you, Angel, me, and Dave are in, you'll see the recent post I made.
Oh,
there.
and you talked about Vince McMahon.
Okay.
I'm like, what's with
No.
the OD skunk? You know?
Yeah, he looks horrible.
Yeah, he looks like
Pepe
Pepe
Le
Le Pew
Pew.
lately.
Yeah, but if
He starts
if
kissing
you-
black
if you go
spots, then we start to worry.
But Angel, if you just bring it up quickly, those posts I shared.
I guess I can. Then we'll wrap
No,
up.
I think
because it's
it
past
was
9,
Angel.
but-
It was Soho or whatever the fuck her name
Oh
was.
no, I brought up something
Okay.
different. Ruby Soho was
She was out on maternity leave or
pregnant,
something.
and and she's out for like 2 years. She's been off TV.
Well, Andrade
Wait,
got
am I
himself
on
in
the
trouble.
wrong group? I think I am. Hold on.
You got to read the fine print, Andrade.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's this one. I'm gonna I have so many group DM groups that it's not a video, right?
Somehow, but,
yeah, it is a video.
it's I don't remember her name right now.
So which one? The big tall one?
Yeah, she's 6'3".
I shouldn't be playing this. It's actually a video. Yeah, you get the point. I shouldn't really be playing that right now. You should check it out in the group. Yeah.
I was saying that forget Megan Bain. She's the most intimidating female wrestler right now. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
she's in
big.
these shitty storylines, so I've heard.
Yeah.
She's not. Is she even on TV?
So,
well, she's in Ring of Honor.
Oh.
Yeah, she's in Ring of Honor. Megan Bain has kind of been relegated to Collision, which means she's not had much time for Tony sends her
even
home.
If that didn't have any
pays
sound,
her off her contract.
You can't play video, even though that didn't have any sound.
It does have sound, but
I don't want to
play the sound. So.
Yeah, I don't want to risk a copyright strike because it's not just my channels. That's I'm on right now. So yeah, so that's the show. We're doing Pro Wrestling Talk tomorrow at 8. But nothing else until next Friday for Angel in the afternoon. I may be moving in the coming weeks to a bigger place. I have bigger room to do this stuff in. We'll see. We'll let people know when the move.
New Jersey area, right?
Yeah. It's just
No, he's coming to Pennsylvania to be with his bestie.
Oh yes.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be moving in the coming weeks.
Pirates suck, by the way.
Tell me something I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, so if I'm moving in the coming weeks, then the show
is so much better than the Pirates.
No, yeah.
How many championships do the Yankees have?
27.
27.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
We've
been we thought that was supposed to be a gotcha.
No, I'm talking about World Series.
Yeah, 27.
I never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, we've been stuck on 27 since 2009.
Oh, you've been stuck on 27. Okay.
But the Pirates haven't won since what? The late 70s.
The 70s.
I think 79.
The Twins won in 93.
The Twins? No.
Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
Was it 90? It was 91. Like 90, yeah, 91, 93.
Because the Blue Jays won in 93. That was the Joe Carter home run.
That was the back-to-back they won, the Blue Jays. So, yeah. So we'll be talking wrestling tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Make sure you join us as well.
Fuck Darby Allin.
Him also. Make sure you like and subscribe. Get those likes up. Very important.
Darby Allin really likes to kill himself, doesn't he? Or try to kill himself.
Well, he brought up Punk, which pissed me off. And I'm like, don't mention someone who's over. You're not over. Fuck you, Darby Allin.
Yeah. So, so I want to thank everybody for watching, supporting the show.
I don't have any Reagan-loving boomers.
Oh, wow.
I said my neighbor has a bumper sticker that says I miss Reagan.
Mariners up 6-2 now. Wow.
I was gonna say no one in my
They're
family loves Reagan.
They're up 2-1
No, 2-2.
in the
Because the
ALC.
Mariners, Blue Jays won the last.
Right. Okay. So they're about to go up 3-2. If that holds.
And if the Dodgers win tonight, they're going back to the World Series, which they're going to go back to the World Series. Brewers are terrible right now.
Blue Jays are from
Yeah,
Canada, right?
Yeah.
They're a Canadian team.
Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, that's why I shared that tweet from when Blue Jays lost Game 2. I shared that Shawn Michaels video. He's like, "Oh,
no.
So it's probably gonna be the Dodgers and the Mariners. And imagine.
Well, I mean,
maybe if they go up 3-2.
They could go to 7 games possibly, but yeah, Dodgers are definitely a chance.
Yeah, the Dodgers are gonna go back to win the pennant again. They go back to
And
the
if
World
they win
Series
again this year, they're the new dynasty in MLB officially.
It's all sports entertainment to me.
There hasn't been a back-to-back champion since the Yankees dynasty of the 90s anyway. So yeah, we're just babbling on now. So we're definitely, I do have to go though. It's like past 9 o'clock. So thank you everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out Pro Wrestling Talk tomorrow. And the plan is for me as of now, once the World Series is over, then me, Alex, and David will go live. Hopefully back from Puerto Rico by then. We'll go live to review the playoffs, review the Yankees' performance, and then preview the offseason.
And that video I shared you with Dave about the recent Aaron Boone broadcasting conference. Might as well skip next.
Oh God, yeah, we got to go over that too once the World Series is over.
Jackie.
If your neighbor driven a little bit better, he or she wouldn't have missed. But yeah, thank you for the support. Thank you for everything, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Pro Wrestling Talk, and next week for Angel in the afternoon again. We're episode 130 tonight, and next week is 131. I never thought we would do a fraction of what.
And hopefully we'll do a GTA 6 episode soon. I know I keep bringing it up, but I still.
Yes, I know. I appreciate
bringing it up because otherwise we're gonna forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm about to do a move pretty soon. But yeah, we'll definitely probably in December because there's not much going on in December and politically anyways. So it's the end of the year, so. Probably some point in December, we'll do a special Friday episode where
who knows? Maybe the trailer will be out by then.
Hopefully, maybe. Yeah, we'll discuss that too if it is. But well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Like and subscribe. And